Hey everybody, it's Coach Ken with the Savvy Inspector. Got Coach William with me today. We're hanging out talking about the workshop. Coach William, welcome, sir.
Good to be here.
I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about some of the breakout sessions. And one of them is, and you know, we're very hot on this, we divide real estate agents in non-top producers and top producers. And the way we market them is very different. But a lot of times our members, when they first join us, struggle with how do we locate them? How do we identify who is and who isn't? And then what do we do to market them? So we thought that would be a great breakout session. What do you think?
I agree. And I think to take that one step further, even some inspection firms are not ready for top producers. So being able to break this out into two separate programs, I think is, again, going back to the diversity that we're offering for where you are as a company and what's best for you. Do you need to be chasing top producers at this point? If so, here's the program for that. If you're after blanket marketing or non-top producers, then here's the program for that. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, breaking it out like that made way more sense because you're right. I wasn't even thinking along that lines for this video, but when we have home inspectors that come in that are fairly new in the market, we discourage them from marketing top producers. Because you know what, William, when you're brand new in the business, maybe you don't always do or say things that you exactly should. I mean, I'll fess up. When I was brand new at it, I might have said a thing or two that wasn't quite the way I'd say it today. Let's say that. I'm going to be polite on myself. How about you? Ever struggle that way when you were new and your inspectors as well?
Well, I had a good coach, so maybe you didn't have that.
You went to school on me, huh?
But no, same for me. As a matter of fact, you know that I was so concerned about that I didn't even start in my own turf. I went outside of my area to start my business because of that very thing. If I was going to fall on my face, I didn't want it to be in my backyard. So you're exactly right.
Exactly. Well, you know what happens, I think, too, is you have to really have a definition for a top producer, and the Savvy Inspector will teach you their definition when you get into this breakout session. And what happens is then you've got to get some data, and we'll show you where you can get the data to determine what kind of sales they had. Does this agent specialize more in listings? Do they have a team? We have a way to do it. So once we share with you, let's say that you're qualified and ready for top producers, we'll show you how to identify them and then how to locate them. But let's talk a minute, William, about top producer marketing and some of the ways. I know that we're going to be talking about lumpy mail or dimensional mail at the workshop, but did you send lumpy mail to non-top producers?
I did. I wouldn't do that today, maybe so much, but in the beginning, yes, I did.
Well, I think what happens is, and we'll be talking about this in the non-top producer marketing segment breakout session as well. And today we could run some inexpensive direct mail to select agents within an office and still get a positive return on investment. But top producers warrant more investment because the potential return is way better. Now, William, do you guys target top producers exclusively, or do you still do some non-top producer marketing as well?
Yeah, we pretty much exclusive on the top producer end because the stage where we're at for our business, I'm always seeking out that 20% that's doing 80% of the work. In the beginning, it wasn't that way. I was after what we refer to as low-hanging fruit, and so I would not differentiate between them. I was just after hungry and take what I could get. But today, as we strategically move forward, we break into new areas and those kind of things, I am only after the shakers and movers.
And it's even true. And here's the indication of it. The other day you did a price increase, but you did it strategically, right? Let's talk about that a minute and how that moved you away from some of the non-top producer and more to top producer.
Right. So, it's that time of year. Once a year, we always try to raise our prices across the board, which we did. But then we got crazy busy, like everybody else in the industry right now. It's just really, really good. So supply and demand, we're just, don't have the supply to take care of the demand that was out there. So I didn't want to raise my prices across the board again because I'm already pretty well up there with my competitors. Not that I wouldn't like to go more, but I'm a little higher than most. So I think it would be detrimental for us to go across the board like that. So what we did was basically said, okay, What do we not want? Well, we don't want homes over 20 years old, and we really prefer not to do the crawl spaces. So that's where we did a substantial increase, about $75 actually, because our schedule is so full that if I'm going to lose them, let's lose those higher liability. Takes longer to get them done. Who wants to mess around in a dirty, nasty crawl space if you can help from it? So that's what we did, and that's actually worked fairly well for us. Our office just reported to me that we had turned down or lost, if you will, 50 some odd inspections last month. And as we go through and look at and they came to me concerned, oh, we lost 50 units, and here was the grand total of what we lost. But and then so I had to regress, take a look. Our calendar is completely full, and every one of these we got the price that we were after, and we didn't have to mess with those older homes. So in reality, yeah, we might have lost that much by letting those go, but look at what we gained financially by not messing with those homes. So yeah, strategic. Every move we make at this point is pretty strategic, from pricing to marketing to in-house, management that we do.
Right. And you know what, William, that was the thing. You got rid of the ones you didn't want. And a lot of those producers give you those on a regular basis. And you said it, they're the highest liability, biggest pain in the neck. And if we have to force into it, we're going to get a pound of flesh for it. So that was a good push off of non-top producers and to open up your schedule more for top producers. So that worked well. Now, William, how many inspectors do you guys have going now?
We are 8 in the process. I had lost a guy, so that put us back at 8. I am currently interviewing 3, 2 of which I know will be moving forward with. The third one is still just a little iffy.
Okay. And William, you used to do home inspections. And of course, occasionally you're forced back into it because of a situation you had to cover for somebody, everybody else is full. But what do you think about not doing home inspections as a home inspector? How does that change what's happened?
Man, it's, you preached it for so long, Ken, and it's a hard pill to swallow for somebody that's done this day in and out from daylight to dark, to think that way. And so, you have to quit thinking like a home inspector and think like a marketer of home inspection services. And so it's a whole different twist. Your whole game changes, your daily time blocking and your calendar all focused towards we call it making it rain. Stole that from a good friend of mine in our firm. So that's my job. It's my job to see to it that we continue to grow in the areas that we want to, and, to make it rain. Now, I try to, once I came out of the home inspection part of it, which again was tough to do, that was my complete focus. The marketing, the management, every aspect of the business outside of home inspection, except for Sherry and doing the finances, because I'm not the numbers guy. So, but what I've learned to do now from that point forward is to always push that stuff off. I've got my hands on as little as possible. I want to be the guy that calls in on a daily basis or weekly basis and checks in. Where's my report on status quo? Rather than me being hands-on making these things happen. And it's a hard thing to do. It's what is your time worth, your personal time, and what are you willing to give up to get that time is what Sherry and I are faced with all the time. And then I was just talking to her last night. I don't mean to rant, but I was talking to her last night, and we were talking about this very thing. And we were both talking about how guilty we feel sometimes because we have a minute. We actually have a minute, to have a conversation over dinner. And sometimes you feel guilty because you're not sweating it, busting it butt to get something done. So it is it's a different perspective, but what a way to go. It's like we were on a coaching call, one of the mastermind members here earlier on, and he made the comment that he had just made another hire, and he was concerned about keeping this guy busy. And so through the conversation, he lets us know that he's doing 3 or 4 inspections a week himself.
Right.
And he's concerned about keeping this guy busy. So it's like, what's the answer to that problem? Stop inspecting. So yeah, it's a hard pill for a guy to swallow, especially coming in as a one-man shop and that's all you've known and done. But what a change in life. I wouldn't change where we're at for anything.
And it allows you to achieve a 7-figure agency very quickly when you're not inspecting, but you're making it rain in the firm. And I'm just going to bring this back to top producer marketing. I know that's all you do. And Kayla does some other non-top producer marketing, I know, but I know you had to bump back this video session because a top producer called you and wanted to have breakfast this morning. How powerful was that?
Yeah, very powerful, and a lot, and that's how doors get open. If I had an inspection to do or was booked up all week long, I wouldn't have been able to make that happen. And I've been trying to connect with this guy forever. So yeah, I mean, that's a great example of, being ready for opportunity to be knocking at the door. And you can't do that if you're inspecting 2-3 inspections a day.
And I saw a top producer sent you an email that says she's leaving the existing office, moving to another one, invited you to come over there, told you how many of their agents were and who you needed to see.
Right. I just shared that with the mastermind group too, because that was actually I was a gatekeeper.
Okay.
Gatekeeper, because we were talking about the importance of those relationships, and then that happened. She actually transferred to another company, which we were not targeting. We're in there now. When she went, she took us with her. I mean, what a beautiful thing.
I think when you start to, you say, okay, I'm ready to target top producers. We've located them. We're going to teach you how to market them specifically. When you leave, you're going to know exactly what to do. We're actually going to give you materials and other things to take with you. But this is the most important thing, William. I think if you turn those real estate top producers from acquaintances into friends, good things happen for your firm. That's what you guys have focused on, tons of that.
Yeah. Real estate agents will refer inspectors, but if you have a real estate agent who is your friend, she will refer you. And so that's, we drive that in the ground as being savvy members about the importance of that relationship marketing. Go beyond the vendor. What is it we say? Don't be a unwelcome pet, be a welcome guest, not an unwelcome pest, or something like that. And that is just so true, because these, if you solidify a good relationship, it's the difference of, an agent calling in and saying, hey, I need a quote. What's your availability and what's it cost? Once you build those relationships, it's not like that. It's an email that says, here's the address. When can you get to it? It's not about price. It's not about, anything other than making sure that they're referring you as a friend to get that job. And that's, most of our top producers now, that's the way it works for us. And it's a beautiful thing.
And we're going to show you in the workshop in this breakout session, we're going to show you how to scale up your top producer marketing. You don't want to start marketing 50 top producers today if you're a one-man shop or a small multi, because they start liking you, use our techniques, and guess what? You'll have to turn them away, and that would be counterproductive. So we're going to show you how to scale it up. We're going to give you all the materials you need. It's going to be a fun breakout session. I love top producers. I will tell you that the top producers we had, they would say, we got 3 names on a list. But the fact of the matter is, if I was buying a home today, I'd choose Southern Home Inspection Services, and here's why. And the customer, like you said, they just called up and said, I need a home inspection, in the next few days. Can you get out there and do it? That's the difference between a list and a referral.
Right. And, another way, because I just talked about this in a CE class that I was teaching yesterday. And, I made it clear to these agents that my number one goal is to get on that list. I just want to be one of those 3 names. Just get me on that list. And then my next goal is to get the heck off that list. And we can teach you what I mean by that. So you're differentiated from those other folks that are on that list. And I have a lot of agents that feed me. Now, these are the relationships that I've got. Well, I have to give them 3 names, but I'll say they're in this order for a reason, and our name's at the top. Or there are 3 names here. Our name of our company is Certainty. So there are 3 names here, and certainly you'll make the right decision. I've personally worked with this company. They inspected my home. I mean, those are powerful things. They're still doing their job, handing out those 3 names, but the client always wants to know, okay, which one of these would you use? So we make it clear to the agents that, once we're on that list and you hand that out, we're all equal unless you separate us, because that client sees that these all came from you. So now it's about price instead of quality, unless you help us help you make sure that we get that inspection. So very true, very true. Relationships are the end all be all when it comes to these top producers.
If you don't take anything but this nugget from it, turn your real estate agent acquaintances into friends, you're a winner. I'll tell you, everybody who's followed our advice in this area and done what we say has come back and said, my gosh, that was hugely powerful. Something so simple was so powerful for their business. So when you finish this breakout session, you're going to be able to identify top producers, you're going to locate top producers, and you're going to learn how to market top producers. And we're actually going to put a marketing piece together right there in the breakout session. This is one of my favorite things. So it'll be tons of fun. All right, Mr. William, anything else on top producers before we quit?
Good stuff. I'm pumped up and ready to start sharing information.
All right then.